You remember my name, Bill. Now, before I start, Bill has suggested and given me permission to actually explain who I am, which leads perfectly into when he couldn't introduce me before. And I'm going to do it off my notes because it's important I tell you everything I possibly can in this small time frame. So, good afternoon everyone. My name is Craig Lord. Who, you say? And to be fair, you are right, because I shouldn't even be here. The reason I say that is because mainstream media have announced multiple times on their own accord, with no actual empirical evidence or data, that this year's Merrill race is only 2 horses. So allow me to introduce myself and tell you why I think they are undeniably wrong. I am a 47-year-old former engineer and currently a freelance media operator. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a university graduate. I'm the guy that grew up in small town Putaruru. I went to 5th form at Tauranga Boys College, grew up there, and then I left school at the end of 5th form to be the boy in an engineering workshop that specialised in hydraulics and pneumatics. At 16, I didn't even know what hydraulics and pneumatics were, let alone spell it. But I knew it was a workshop, and I knew it's where I wanted to be. I saw a tiny ad in the Herald, which is how we all found jobs back then, right? And this little ad said, "School leaver wanted for workshop." My dad was an engineer, my brother still is. So I rang, I was given a time to come in, and I hopped on my motorbike at 16 years old and rode from Tauranga to Auckland for my interview. I then went to visit my sister, who was already living in Auckland. So I gave them her phone number. No cell phones back then either. Then, bang, they rang, and that day they offered me the job. So I had to make a call. Dad, I'm moving to Auckland. And that was part 1 of my adult life. I got on with it, and since I had spent my entire life to that time in the world of scouting, since my dad was a scout leader, my entire family grew up in the lifestyle, and since I was now in a big city with no contacts, I decided to find a scout group in Auckland, and my new boss happened to know his local, so he introduced me. And whoa, did my life change from there. You see, I was only 17, and the most I could do due to age was become an assistant leader with the Cubs. That was okay, I could still help. But the most important thing was that the group leader, I soon found out, had a daughter. Well, I met this girl when I was 17, and she was smitten by the little country boy who had moved to big bad Auckland, all by himself to take on the world. That daughter, who ended up with her Duke of Edinburgh and Queen Scout awards, has been by my side now for 30 years. We've been married for 23. We've raised 2 wonderful children to become 2 pretty awesome adults at times, 21 and 17, and now both of them are out there in the working world as well. Like my dad, I carried on to become a scout leader, then the group leader. While at work, I continued to move up the ranks in the engineering game. By the mid-20s, I was workshop foreman and head technician. I was designing, building, repairing factory automation machinery, and by 30, the owner of the company made me general manager. By then, I could spell hydraulics and pneumatics. But then I said it was time for a leap. I went out on my own and secured a massive contract to design and build 13 machines that would make metal framing for houses. I was on my way. Then disaster. Unknown to me, the company I built them for had a deceitful plan from day one. We finished the machines, successfully tested half of them before we called it a day, wished everyone a happy Easter, and we'll see them on Tuesday. Over that 4-day weekend, all planned out, they packed the machines into containers and shipped them to Texas. The entire lot without paying the balance of the job. Long story short, my company went into receivership. And just as I was about to lose the house and be declared bankrupt, the receivers, we still don't know how, managed to get the money owed. It was only the amount that enabled me to pay the creditors which was fantastic, but it was too late for my company. A year had gone by, I'd lost my business to rogues. I'd taken on 3 jobs to survive. We had at that time our 2 children under 5. I refused to declare bankruptcy. I punched my way out of it, learned a lot about this harsh world. But then there was another change afoot. I said enough of the tools now. I went a completely different path and moved into media. It was a complete flip around in lifestyle and occupation. And my wife said to me, "What is freelance media?" And I said, "Not sure, but we do all sorts of little things and charge people independently for jobs." Her response to that was understandable. But I was determined, and that's how I do things. I jump in the deep end. It's Sir Richard Branson who famously said, "Say yes, then work out how to do it later." I've spent the last 16 years as an event MC, a motorsport commentator, magazine editor, journalist, photographer, TV presenter at Sky and Prime, fill-in producer at Radio Sport and News Talk ZB. I learned on the go, taught myself a new trade, but my solid engineering background has never left me. So with all of those different life-affecting moments, I have certainly learned a lot. With a mix of adversity and general life, my wife, and like many of you here, have gone through the struggles of raising a family in Auckland. We understand the difficulties. My wife and I had to tighten the purse strings many times, so we know how to sacrifice. I can apply all of those life lessons to a new role. In June last year at a barbecue, one of those conversations that leads to bickering over politics, one of my mates said to me, "You should be mayor, mate." We laughed it off. But then we spoke some more and I did some analysis and realised that with my particular skills, I'd actually be a really good mayor because I'm willing to do it differently. "Here we go again," says my wife. However, I truly do believe I understand what the role actually is. That being, it is not a dictatorship as the other candidates make it out to be. It's a leadership role. It is also a spokesperson position. Token is too light of a description, but who does the media turn to when they want a soundbite from an event, a corporation, a business, or a group? The spokesperson. It's a major part of the mayor's job. I also look at Chris Farfoy, who Phil would know well, given he was his press secretary, who is arguably, at the moment, the only current minister doing a good job in the beehive and achieving results. He simply came into politics after being a journalist. Knowing this, I'm quite possibly also the only mayoral candidate in history that doesn't have policies. Yes, I have some dreams and goals, but no policies, and you may be wondering why and how I can say such things, as Phil chuckles on my side. It's simply because he won't be laughing shortly. Policies are for central party politics, where a party has a set list of items that every MP gets in behind. This is local body. 21 votes on a council, 21 different people voted in who have a vast difference of opinions and goals, but 21 people who need to work together on those ideas and find the best solutions for everyone. The mayor is only one of those 21, and therefore should be working with the 20 councillors in a unified manner to make the city better. If a mayor comes in shouting policies, then they are arrogantly stating to the other 20 councillors, "This is what we are doing," and that is wrong. In saying this, we are all well aware in politics that election bribes get attention and votes, and the people that shout and spout might possibly maybe follow up on them, but it's a well-used ploy that long-term politicians use, and that's why I'm quite happy to not be one. I do have those dreams and goals though. I want to fix the internals of a very broken machine, that being the many different council, operations internally and externally. I want to use my fault finding skills and communication skills to get to the bottom of our excessive and unnecessary spending on so many levels of operation. Not where we get the money from, where we are spending it. And as I said before, I know how to tighten purse strings and make sacrifices, and Auckland needs exactly that. To fix a machine, you analyse its components, you study it, you work out what's gone wrong, you decide on a plan, and you repair it. You may need to bring in specialists from time to time. And let me give you an example using this pen. This pen was made by an injection moulding machine. When broken, I was the guy that Bic called in. I would diagnose and fix this machine. And if it was electrical, would I go off and bring in some extraordinarily high-priced consultant to come and tell me how to fix the electrical bit? No. I would find a Sparky that had worked in the game for years, who understands the problem and has the experience to assist me with solutions. Quite simply, you work out what bits are broken or no longer required, you remove or repair the faulty part, and you upgrade it if must be. A failing business is exactly the same process. So too is the council operations. We are spending in the wrong places. We need to get back to core services. We need to focus on the needs of the people and not let your money be siphoned away on vanity projects and nonsensical wants by a selected few with their hands in the cookie jars. Take Chamberlain Park, for example. $30 million, and there's no genuine or urgent need to spend your money on that change. RFA wants to chuck millions into modifying Western Springs, and again, there's no genuine need to do it. There are so many examples of your money going into niceties rather than necessities. $500,000 for a statue in Mount Eden rather than Rodney Road repairs? And let's not forget, someone in council operations paid consultants and contractors $180,000 to install a mirror above O'Connell Street. I've been there and I looked up. That's a $5,000 job. That's a lot of money blowing. Your money. Those are just a few examples of many. I do want to spend money. I won't lie to you about that. But on wonderful things, like a waste-to-energy plant, cone parking systems at the park and ride instead of sprawling out our car parks. Just two examples of many. We need to find the money to do such things, but I actually reckon it's there. If we sacrifice other unnecessary things for the greater good. This is where all of those points come back directly to you. I was asked about the particular items relevant to you. Rates relief for seniors, support for senior organisations, support in regards to hospital parking. And I say yes to all of those. I will gladly take those to council and lobby for them on your behalf. I agree wholeheartedly that our population growth is too fast. We can no longer cope, and unless it is somehow slowed down, we are in crisis mode. It's another task I will gladly take on with help from fellow councillors, because that is part of the mayor's job. It would be my job to listen to what you want, and quite simply, council should be doing what you want. I was also asked to discuss with you about my thoughts on the council structure, the CCOs, the selling of assets connected to council, social housing, and seniors and their place in the community. All of those points have issues, so how could I not support trying to fix them with you and for you? But I need your help, because I can't assume what you need. I can't stand up here and tell you what you need. You are the experts. You are the specialists I bring in to fix the machine. Nearly done. You are the people. Council and boards are the elected representatives of the people. We simply get think tanks together. We make sure you are represented as a community and you are directly part of all decision-making processes. You tell us what is best for you, and then we get on with trying to make it happen. In regards to the CCOs, well, due to them having no elected representation, they have become bullies with no accountability to the public. We are all aware of how our current mayor removed councillors from the AT board, and after all the bad PR, he recently promised a thorough analysis of failing CCOs if he gets back in mayor. Why then? Why not just do it now? My bad, I forgot. That's how election bribes work. It's deceitful how AT is making city congestion worse on purpose. It's being done to force people out of personal transport. Panuku, being a land developer, and RFA, being empire builders, are doing whatever they want in regards to the creation of their realms. They have cast community groups aside, kicked them out of parks, buildings, halls, no remorse for doing it. Ineffective and disconnected. Those are the two terms Grey Power have used to describe the current level of interaction between council and the community. In particular, and rightfully so, your community. The city should therefore do two things. One, ensure you are still part of it, and two, ensure you are still part of it. Things do need to change. Change comes about with a change in culture. You change culture not by being a dictator, but by being a leader. You lead with the standards you expect. This current council is split. It has no unity, no desire to work together. The leadership has failed. Auckland voters have no confidence in council and seemingly little pride about their city, desperately looking for a leadership option. There have been none on display until now. My name is Craig Lord. Thank you for your time.
We'll now sort of move into questions, and I'll probably reshuffle them a bit. We've got three core questions. One was the rating lead for seniors, the grand